YouTube. So with the release of the PlayStation 5, I figured now would be a good time to go for a setup guide on how to set your PlayStation 5 up with your GoXLR. Most of this will be exactly the same as the PlayStation 4, but there are slight key differences when setting it up with the PlayStation 5, otherwise it will not work. So in this video, I'll go from start to finish on everything you will need to purchase, how to set it all up, and by the end of it, you'll have your GoXLR set up with your PlayStation 5 to be able to use. Okay, so in order to set the PlayStation up with the GoXLR, unfortunately there are additional purchases you do need to make. None of this comes with the PlayStation or the GoXLR, but without them it will not work. The first one being a USB sound card. Now it does need to have a headphone and microphone jack on the front of it. You'll need two 3.5mm audio cables long enough to reach between both the PlayStation and the GoXLR, as well as an optical cable, again long enough to reach between the two. There are two additional purchases you can make which are optional, the first one being two ground loop noise isolators, as well as a volume adjuster. Neither of these are particularly necessary, but they are worth it for the money you spend. And if you are looking to set up a PlayStation 5 with the GoXLR, the additional purchase you'll need to make is an HDMI audio extractor. The reason for this is because the PlayStation 5 does not have an optical drive on the back of it. You will need to be able to extract the audio from the PlayStation to the GoXLR. The HDMI audio extractor does this for you, so it takes an HDMI cable from the PlayStation 5 to the extractor, where you can then plug an optical cable in the back of the GoXLR. Okay, so once all that's arrived then, you'll want to start with the USB sound card. You plug that straight into the back of the PlayStation. Then take one of the 3.5mm audio cables, plug it into the back of the GoXLR in the line out. Then if you did purchase the ground loop noise isolator and the volume adjuster, you'll then take the 3.5mm, plug it into the noise isolator, and then into the volume adjuster, and then you'll take that to the mic input on the sound card. After that, take another 3.5mm audio cable, plug that into the headset output on the sound card, then through a noise isolator, and then into the line in on the GoXLR. If you didn't purchase the noise isolator or the volume adjuster, just bypass those stages. And if you have a PlayStation 4, you take the optical cable and plug it straight into the back of the PlayStation. And from there you take it straight into the back of the GoXLR. If you, however, have the PlayStation 5, you'll need to get the audio extractor. You take an HDMI cable from the back of the PlayStation into the line in on the audio extractor, and then another HDMI cable in the line out straight into the monitor. With that, you then take the optical cable and plug it into the audio extractor, and then into the back of the GoXLR. Okay, so once everything's wired up, the next thing you need to do is download the GoXLR software. The first thing you want to do once you've downloaded this and opened it up is go into the microphone tab and select the type of microphone that you're using. So if you've got a dynamic microphone, obviously just press that one, condenser, or the 3.5mm, which is your USB microphones. Each one is different on how they work, so they will need to be specified as to which one you've got. So a dynamic microphone is simply a plug and play. Plug it in, it's good to go with the power coming from the GoXLR. A condenser microphone does require additional power called phantom power, so you will need to select that one, and a USB microphone is a 3.5mm. Once you've done that, go across to the mixer tab. This will be your 4 different sliders, so you select each one differently on what you want each slider to do. For me, I've got channel 1 is the microphone, so that's the microphone I'm using. Channel 2 I've got set to music, which in my case actually is if I have the audio from the PC coming through my headphones, which are plugged into the GoXLR, that will be controlled by how loud all the PC volume comes through. Channel 3 is the line in, which for me is the PlayStation, so all audio, whether it's game audio or chat audio, that's all controlled by the third slider. And line 4 is the headphones, so I can slide that up and down if I want all volume to just drop, so that's all of the volume coming from PlayStations and PCs. All of that's controlled there. Then once you've set that up, you come across to the mixer tabs. So the microphone is obviously the microphone you're using. set that, and if you move it up and down, that will slide the slider up and down as well. I've got mine set to 80, but it's personal preference on how you want it. The chat slider is not controlling anything. That's actually for third-party applications through the PC, so we don't need that for the PlayStation. Music tab is the second slider. That controls all volume from the PC if it's coming through the headphones. The game audio is if it was set up with just the PC without the PlayStation, which is why again it's set to 0. The console itself is set to 50. It's not actually controlled on mine by the sliders. The line in is, because both the game audio and the chat audio is controlled under one slider. The system audio again isn't controlling a slider, which is why it's just set to 50. The sample is the sampler on the GoXLR itself, but that can be controlled up and down. The bleep is obviously the bleep button, and the level is the headphones. Once you've done those, you come across to the lighting. You can control each slider separately, and you can put a color for each of them. I've seen some people set each one to a separate color so that they're easier to distinguish as to which one is which. For me, I've got them set to a color theme just purely because I've had it that long. I know which slider does which at this. Obviously, it's all up to you, so you can set each channel as you wish. You can change the colors throughout the whole system. Everything is changeable, including the little lines around the dials. After that, you come across to the routing table. Now this is where everything will be controlled as to which bit goes to where. If you do hover over them, it does tell you a brief outline as to which one's which. For me, I've got the headphones for music, console, line-in, system, sampler. So that's everything that comes back through to my headphones. All of that's ticked. You can tick the microphone one as well, but that will give you an echo from your own voice so you can hear yourself back. The broadcast system mix is everything that's going into the PC, so when you set it up with OBS, everything that's ticked on here will go through the audio on the PC as well. The line in, I've got ticked for the microphone and the samples, and then chat mic, because we're not using a third-party chat application, none of that's ticked. And with the sampler, again, you've got microphone, console, and line in. Okay, so the next thing to do is to go onto the PlayStation itself, go across the settings, go down to sound, and then make sure that both the microphone and the audio output are set to USB headset. And then if you go onto the volume tab and click on headphones, you'll see that if you slide that up and down on the GoXLR itself, it will show that it's creating sound through the PlayStation. On the PlayStation 4, it is slightly different in terms of the settings, just on the layout of them, but the output should still be the same. You should still have both of them set to headset. Okay, so the final thing to do is to go into OBS itself, go into settings, and then under the audio tab, just make sure the mic auxiliary audio is set to the broadcast stream mix. Once you press OK to that, you'll see that all audio that I'm talking through the mic is coming through. You will notice though that you have a video capture device as well. That's just for the Elgato that's in the PC, so just set that to mute. Okay, so now that everything is set up, you should be ready to start streaming with your new GoXLR. If there are any problems or any questions, just drop a comment down below. If not, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.